Welcome into Duval Daily, presented by GenJag.com. I'm Jordan DeLugo. Thank you so much for tuning in here on Tuesday, January 31st. Some exciting news for your Jacksonville Jaguars and their star pupil, Trevor Lawrence, second-year quarterback. He is replacing Patrick Mahomes, who will be in the Super Bowl, in the first annual Pro Bowl games, which is effectively taking place of the Pro Bowl moving forward here. So Trevor Lawrence, yes, your quarterback, is a Pro Bowl quarterback in year two. Trevor had a massive year two leap, just an incredibly impressive season on a lot of fronts for Trevor Lawrence. The second biggest jump in passer rating from year one to year two in league history, which is obviously huge for Trevor Lawrence. Doug Peterson had a huge part of that, but you got to give Trevor Lawrence his flowers when you talk about this 2022 season. 25 regular season touchdown passes to 8 interceptions. Those numbers don't even really do it justice, because when you look at what happened over the back half of the season, that's really where it gets impressive for Trevor Lawrence. But on top of the 25 regular season passing touchdowns, he also had 5 rushing touchdowns in the regular season to total 30. 30 total touchdowns in your second year in the league in the regular season. You'll take it. And added 5 more touchdowns in the postseason. But it was an unbelievable run to end the year for Trevor. The 4 interceptions against the Chargers to start that game, the 4 touchdowns to follow that up in the epic comeback, 27-0 comeback against the Los Angeles Chargers in Jacksonville. What a raucous and wild atmosphere that was, and Trevor Lawrence had as much of a part in that as anyone, again, with 4 touchdown passes to lead the Jaguars back. It's an all-timer for Jaguars fans, no question about it. But again, in that late season run, from weeks 9 to week 18 of the regular season, when the Jaguars really caught fire, they went 7-2 over that stretch, only losing to the Chiefs and Lions. Trevor Lawrence threw 15 touchdown passes, 2 interceptions. He also found the end zone twice with his legs during that stretch. So 17 total touchdowns, 2 interceptions, and that 9-game stretch for the Jags to end the regular season 7-2. They needed to win those games to get into the position for Week 18 to be the AFC South Championship game. They did that. They got there. They handled their business against a Titans team that was tough as nails, a really tough out in that situation. And they came back, and despite having such an emotional victory over the Titans to get into the playoffs, to win their division, they come out and they have one of the most memorable games you'll ever see against the Chargers the next week. Get themselves into the divisional round, and a lot of that had to do with Trevor Lawrence's right arm and his decision-making and leadership, playmaking ability. Got themselves to the divisional round against Kansas City. Couldn't quite take care of business. A few too many unforced errors by the Jaguars in Arrowhead, but they still kept that one respectable, and they were within striking distance the entire time. Fell 27-20, but Trevor Lawrence had another impressive game, in my opinion. Trevor is the 3rd quarterback in Jags history to make the Pro Bowl. Mark Brunell's been there 3 times. David Garrard has also made the Pro Bowl. And now Trevor Lawrence, the 3rd Jaguars quarterback to make the Pro Bowl. Again, did so in a year in his first season in Doug Peterson's offensive system. And now Doug Peterson's play designs, play calls, his entire offensive infrastructure, it is quarterback friendly. There's no doubt about that. But so impressive nonetheless to go from what Trevor Lawrence was working with in 2021 as a rookie and where he was in 2021 as a rookie to what he did this past season, to where he's now, no question, your franchise quarterback and a guy that you value among the best young quarterbacks in the league, the best quarterbacks in the league, period. I'm not saying he's the best. That belongs to Patrick. But there's not a lot of quarterbacks you'd rather have right now than Trevor Lawrence. He did so despite his receivers still being among the league leaders in drops this year, which is obviously something you want to try to continue to clean up moving forward. Probably bringing in Calvin Ridley and targeting him more often should help in that regard. But such a well-deserved honor for Trevor Lawrence. Again, everything he went through in 2021, not just on the field, not just with Urban, everything. He had to deal with so much last year. And to finally be able to see the light at the end of the tunnel when Doug Peterson was hired, and then to actually fulfill a lot of the goals and things that they were trying to get done this year in year one of Doug Peterson trying to right the ship. Awesome, awesome stuff. Again, made it to the playoffs, won the AFC South title, beat the Chargers in the playoffs, went toe-to-toe to the Chiefs, didn't quite come up with the W, but really, really impressive, and none of it would be possible without Trevor Lawrence. It's really astounding, in all honesty, to go from the worst team in the NFL for 2 consecutive years and one of the joke franchises in the league for more than a decade to this, to Trevor Lawrence playing like a Pro Bowl quarterback, a well-deserved Pro Bowl honor. I know he wasn't initially one of the quarterbacks that was going to get in, but when you look at what he did down the stretch, there's no question Trevor Lawrence deserves to be in the Pro Bowl. So congrats to Trevor Lawrence. Congrats to Jamal Agnew, who will also be at the Pro Bowl games this weekend as the AFC return specialist. 2 guys that, again, both of them were here in 2021. Both of them dealt with all that, and both of them came out the other side stronger and better for it and had fantastic years for the Jaguars. Hope they go out there, have some fun, represent Duval well. Got some skills competition, some flag football and all that. It'll be an interesting twist on the Pro Bowl, see if maybe it engages the fans a little bit more than the Pro Bowl has in the past. I know people are going to be interested in that skills competition. But Trevor and Jamal, get home healthy, have some fun, rest up, and prep for 2023, a year where the Jaguars are going to be expected to do a lot more than they have been in the past. That's going to do it here. Thank you so much for tuning in. Again, congrats to Trevor Lawrence. Congrats to Jamal Agnew representing the Jaguars at the Pro Bowl. It is a big deal. They're the Jaguars' first Pro Bowler since 2019. And when you talk about legacy, making Pro Bowls matters. Unfortunately, it's not a perfect system. It's not a good system, the way Pro Bowlers are selected, but it does impact legacy. When you talk about guys trying to get into the Hall of Fame, and I know Jamal and Trevor, that should be the last thing on their minds right now, especially Trevor, who's 23 years old. But later on in your career, when you've had a big time career and you're thinking about maybe, am I going to get into the Hall of Fame one day? Pro Bowl appearances matter, unfortunately. So good for Trevor Lawrence and Jamal Agnew both getting that feather in their cap for the first time in their careers. Very happy for them. But again, that'll do it. Thank you so much for tuning in. Hit me up on Twitter at Jordan DeLugo, Generation Jaguar at Generation Jag. You can hit that like and subscribe button right here on YouTube, notification bell so you don't miss a show on here. Really, really appreciate y'all's support, Duval. Couldn't be doing this without you. Have a great rest of your Tuesday.